welcome to the Abiding CEO podcast. It's your host, Betsy Mejias, and your trauma therapist turned life coach. And this is the place where faith meets business. I am really giddy and excited about today's interview. I have Lisa Sabala. She's the owner of 8point8. It's a virtual assistant company out in the Philippines, and they do my work, and they're just so great at communicating my heart's desire for the audience and listening to you. And the times where I've had consultations with Lisa, she's given great feedback. And I can just go on and on, but let me allow Lisa to introduce herself. I kind of forgot you were in the room. Sorry, I was like thinking about our
I was
consultation.
enjoying the intro.
But
Thank you.
Lisa, you're awesome. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Right. Thank you, Betsy, for having me. So I'm Lisa Sabala. I am in the Philippines. I am part of the 8point8 virtual assistant team. We are a salad of virtual assistants, and we help CEOs like Betsy take back their time freedom. Because whenever you're a CEO, you shouldn't be in the nitty gritty of your business. You shouldn't be doing like ground level work. You should be above that so that you can be creative and you can plot the growth of your company without thinking about like, hey, did we answer that email from that client the other day? Or did we respond to the DMs on social media? So those are the things that our team does. And yeah, we really enjoy helping CEOs. So yeah, that's what we do and we enjoy it.
Okay. Well, it shows, and everybody's always so polite and friendly, and the communication through the Trello board to help navigate the time difference. It's perfect. And I am so glad that when we were talking before going on air, you communicated to me that you're comfortable sharing your story, and it's a little on the vulnerable side, but it's what drives you.
It is.
Yes. So I guess take us back to the beginning of 8point8 and then what was going on in your personal life.
Okay. Thank you for giving me this avenue to share my story. I'm really excited about this, but also I feel called to share my story. I'm hoping someone out there, a business owner who probably went through a similar path, I'm hoping I can provide you some comfort and insight. So what happened was back in 2017, I started working as a virtual assistant. But prior to that, I had like years and years, I can't even count, years of experience as a content writer. And that's all I did. I wrote copy, marketing content, content for flyers, even content for ads and scripts for videos. So that's what I did until I ventured into virtual assistants. When I did venture into virtual assistants, I found that I also liked creating PowerPoint slides and also dabbing into video editing. The clients that I had then, they were okay with my work. But when I showed them to colleagues, they were really, really honest. They said, Lisa, your work sucked. You should not be doing graphic design.
Ooh.
And your videos could really, get some help. Why don't you just stay with content writing? So mind you, these are friends who are like super honest and I appreciate their opinion. So I practiced. I really did. I gave it my best try. Eventually, when 2019 happened, remember COVID, the pandemic hit everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
My friends who I knew from corporate or who I worked with on a project basis, they were employed, but when they went to their offices, they got told I'm sorry, you have to go home. There is nothing for you here. So within the 24 hours that the pandemic was announced, they were told that they didn't have a job anymore. So those friends of mine or people in my circle, they realized that, oh no, where are we going to get money for food? I didn't even have enough savings. So they sort of panicked, but they knew that I was already having my virtual assistance business. So they came to me and they asked Lisa, can we join you because you suck at graphics? Why don't we just do that part where you suck at? And then you can focus on writing. And I welcomed them. I was so happy that someone better could do video editing, someone better could do the podcast editing for clients. Eventually, we formed a team. And it grew and grew. I think during the pandemic, I could count, I think 4. There were 4 of us. And then we invited an admin team member who is now our human resources manager, by the way. And then it grew. And then there were referrals, other creatives who lost their jobs. They also joined. Fast forward to today, 2024, there are 21 virtual assistants at 8point8. And all of us have our own specialties. So some of us help build online courses, some help build masterminds, some help with video editing, podcast editing, content writing. So it's a salad now. And the good thing about this is that the clients that we serve, they're really happy because they don't have to hire one-off video editors. They can just say, oh, I need video editing. And then we can just tap, oh, we have a team member who can do that. And then we just fire away. We just like speed through the tasks because all the team members are pre-trained. We have task delegators and supervisors who oversee the work. So you, as the business owner, you don't have to babysit anymore. And then this is where I go into the vulnerable part of my story, because in 2021, that was December. I had a 2-week-old, like my third son, who is our youngest, a 2-week-old son. And then I had a 2-year-old and an 8-year-old. I also had my husband with me during that time. Like a typhoon so strong, it like knocked out the power grid from the whole central part of the Philippines.
Yeah.
And after the typhoon hit, there was no electricity, there was no water. Like we sort of like business died. And I really thought that 8point8 was done because I couldn't contact the clients. I couldn't like reach out to my team members. They did contact me on the phone though and say like, hey, Lisa, I'm okay, but my laptop needs to be replaced because it's wet from the flood or whatever they had to go through. So some of the team members who were affected by the typhoon, they reported that they were fine, but they needed like a month or so until they could get back because there was no electricity. So when electricity did come back in my part of the country, I quickly realized that the team members who were not in the central part of the Philippines, but they were in the northern or southern part, they just kept reporting to work. And our clients didn't even realize that like a big chunk of the team was gone because they carried the team. Like it went on because we were able to delegate the task so effectively that when 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5 team members had to go on emergency leave or take care of their family, their loved ones during a storm, or if there was a calamity, business would go on. I was really surprised because when I logged in, I saw the sent items from our email and they were invoices. They got sent out to the client. It was amazing. And I was so, so thankful having the team, even though it was the worst typhoon I experienced. Well, the business went on and we got saved. During the storm, all I prayed about, I didn't even pray about like, please keep the business going. All I prayed about was just keep the team members safe. Just keep the storm away from them.
Yeah.
I mean, life first before business. So God answered that prayer and was really happy. In fact, he kept a big chunk of our team safe enough to keep the business safe. So he took care of everything. And it wasn't even the first thing that I prayed for. So I'm really, really thankful about that. I'd like to share the second vulnerable part of my story because I also got widowed young at 37. I lost my husband to heart disease. This one happened a few months after the typhoon. We lost him August 2022. So you can imagine I was left with 3 young boys. One of them can't even remember his father because he was barely a year old. And then the boys are going to grow up without a dad. And that's like a hard blow for anyone. I was the only adult left in our immediate family. So I had to keep going, but it's not just sort of, it's impossible to like rise up after that very difficult moment. I still feel like sad from time to time, but I know that I have my 3 boys to keep alive. Like they need to go to school, they need food. You need to keep going because you have 3 children who are your responsibility and the amazing, amazing gifts from God. Like I'm so thankful I have 3 sons because, well, they're just blessings in themselves, but they'd have to grow up without a dad. And realizing that, I went into a really, really dark part emotionally.
Yeah.
So I took, I'd say a month, almost 2 months off of work. And me being the workaholic that I was, from time to time, I pop into the Slack workspace, and then everyone in the team would say, Lisa, why are you here? You're not supposed to be online. Go take care of your boys. We got this. Just like go away. And they were really honest about it.
Mhm.
So again, that's where task delegation came into play,
Yeah.
because essentially the team didn't feel like I was essential anymore,
Yeah.
but the business kept on going. And my message after going through all of these,
Yeah.
when difficult things happen, your business should be like foolproof. And the only way that that can happen is if it's blessed by God. And
Mhm.
when your first priority in your prayers is to protect the team
Yeah.
that's keeping the business alive,
Yeah.
that's just a priority of it. Everything will fall into place. So
Okay.
sorry for the long-winded
No,
um
no,
story. I feel like everything was essential there.
it
Yeah,
was. It was. And I thank you for sharing. And before going on air, I was like, are you comfortable sharing?
I am.
Because you're
I want to
talking
tell
about,
this story. Yeah.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did because you're not the only one, right? Life keeps lifing, right? And things keep
Yes.
going wrong. And you're talking like those were two huge things back to back. The
Yeah.
typhoon and
Mhm,
then finding yourself a widow, trying
mhm,
to run a business.
mhm.
And I thank God that He gave you the wisdom to even set up the systems
Mhm.
before this
Yes.
happened.
Before everything happened. And the cool part of it all
Yeah.
is, if it weren't for my husband, who was very supportive, but also very honest, when he saw me becoming a workaholic, working almost 24/7, not taking a
Mhm.
bath. Like I smelled really bad for like a
Wow.
few days, that
Yeah.
were like almost a week, where I didn't take a bath because I was doing everything. And this was back before I formed the team. He said,
Mm.
like, this cannot go on. Like, you are taking time away from our kids, taking out time away from me, and you're not resting. What if you get sick and then we lose you? What will
Wow.
happen then? My son, my 6-year-old son back then, he literally held my hands from the keyboard and said, like, Mama, please stop working. And he was teary-eyed when he said that. Like, he just said, like, let's just go to sleep, stop working. So if it
Mhm.
weren't for my husband and my 6-year-old son, who were super honest, telling me that we need you in our lives too, like, this business isn't all
Yeah.
about, this is not your life, Mama. So
Yeah.
they claimed me back. And
Mhm.
I'm glad that they were really honest, especially my husband. And the way I'm saying this now, Betsy, it's very gentle, but it wasn't.
Oh,
He
when
didn't
he gave
say
you the
it like
feedback, it
that.
wasn't that. Yeah.
No, he didn't say it like that. But I'm glad that he showed how strongly he felt about me delegating tasks. And then after I hired my very first virtual assistant, he cheered me on. He was like, okay, you're going to be addicted after this. You're going to hire the second one and the third and the fourth. And it's like he predicted it.
Yeah. He
And
spoke it into your life. Yeah.
yeah, he spoke it into reality. So everything sort of fell into place.
Yeah.
Of things just happened the way they did. And there are lessons that I pick up along the way. But the biggest part of it is delegating tasks,
Mhm.
delegating your work, so that even if you are not physically present in your business is still going to continue. That's the whole idea of it. So that you can live your life, you can spend your time with family and
Mhm.
appreciate the blessings that you are given from God. Yeah. And yeah, we only have a finite. God knows when he's going to take us.
Yeah.
Let's
And
not waste that time.
he knew the typhoon was coming and he knew you were gonna lose your husband and he was providing ahead of time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. It was a hard pill to swallow too, because I was very resistant. Like, oh, I need to do this myself. Like, oh, it's just faster if I did this myself. This is just one small tweak on my website. Let me just do it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
because he moves you from places where you shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
so that like I have a better plan for you. Get out of there. Just
Yeah.
move. And
Yeah.
then human as we are, we're very resistant. I'm not sure if you've had similar experiences,
Oh,
but
oh yeah.
I'm
Like
very resistant. Yeah.
sometimes, you get an idea and we can be such visionaries
Mhm.
and but we don't know all the steps and we just kind of run and then realize nobody's behind us. And it's like, oh, okay, let me slow down. Let me back up. Lord, what should I do with this? And
Yeah.
sometimes, well, not sometimes, often it's
Always.
something I didn't even think of.
Mhm.
And he comes through, or sometimes I don't understand in the natural what's going on. And like
Mhm.
those beginning years, when you lose a teammate and you're thinking like, Lord, how am I ever going to grow? And you start questioning. And then it just gets to the point of just surrender. Lord, if you take a leaf away, it's because you're going to bring another one in. It's okay.
Yeah.
And you learn to rest in him. And then what I'm hearing is he used the people around you. He used the
Mhm.
relationships around you, from your husband to your 6-year-old son
Mhm.
to your team, telling you you need to rest.
Yeah.
And that's
Despite how
hard.
resistant I am.
No,
But
rest
I
is
learned.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You can't turn it off. Because
Yes.
when you're lying in your bed, even if you make a rule, okay, I'm not gonna touch my phone. If my
Yeah.
head is on the pillow, my phone is on my desk. Like it's
Uh-huh.
not even gonna touch my head. So even if you make that rule up, you have all these ideas like, oh, that would be a really cool lead magnet.
Hmm.
Wait, that would be a really nice freebie to add to this and that. Oh, how about if I try this funnel? All these things are going on in your head. It's planted there because you want to be creative, you want your business to grow, but look, it's not the right time. Everyone needs to rest. And
Hmm.
there's a time and place for that. Most of the time, you're being told by God, your guardian angel is
Yeah.
going to lose patience over you. Like, why can't she just sleep?
Yeah.
Anyway, kidding aside, there's a time and place for everything. And in God's
And,
perfect plan, it just all works out. Thankfully, it all works out.
and for everything, there is a season.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So switching gears a little bit, I have been curious, and even as you're speaking, and I know I've seen it in emails, where did the name 8.8 come from?
Oh, thank you for asking. This time I can share again. It's from my husband.
Really?
Yeah, he coined it. So when we were dating and even leading up to getting married, we love the symbol infinity. Like, and then there were two of
Mhm.
us. So he put two and two together. He designed the core of the logo, and then he had it sketched in like a really rough draft. And then we gave it to a logo designer, and then it became like that. So
Um,
he was the one who came up with 8.8.
from
So
affinity to infinity.
two infinities. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you asked too, because every time I'm asked to share about the name 8.8, I feel like I'm carrying his ideas even after he's already passed. I mean, he's probably in heaven enjoying endless video games because he's a gamer, he's an
Okay.
architect. Yeah, that's how he has fun. He plays video games. So that's how I imagine him. Like, even if he
Yeah.
is playing video games now in
Mhm.
heaven, no more pain, no more suffering. He's just like having fun and having the time of his life. Like, his legacy lives on
Mhm.
because he helped me create this name. And I am not going to change it like ever.
Mhm.
I've been told by a coach who said, like, maybe I think you should just like leave out 8.8 because you can do a Lisa Sabala LLC. Like, I said, no, I'm
Just
sticking with
a
this.
point.
Thank
I
you
hear
for the
you.
suggestion, but I'm gonna stick with this.
No, I totally hear
Yeah.
you. But you brought up something good there. He knew how to have fun and he enjoyed his video games.
Yes.
What do you do to have fun or to recharge?
For me, oh
Yeah.
gosh, I eat. Oh my gosh. I plan a meal and I drive to the restaurant and then I sit and I enjoy the meal. it's comforting for me. Mind you, I don't overeat. I I just have like one small piece. Like for example, I'm craving that cake from that cake shop that we used to visit, or the pasta that's being served in this Italian restaurant. So
Mhm.
I plan out a day every 2 or 3 times in a month. I go to the restaurant and then I eat by myself and I enjoy it. I don't even take pictures. I just like take in the experience.
It's
So that's what I do for fun. I
Yeah, well,
hope
it's like
that's not
a
too boring.
mindful eating
Yeah.
exercise, and you're practicing
Yes. Being
solitude.
aware, because I see a lot of people, and I do it myself sometimes. When you're
Yeah.
eating and then you have your Netflix on,
Yes.
and or when you're folding clothes, you have a video on, or like an episode of a K
Whatever.
drama or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're never really present doing something, and that's the only thing that you're doing. So in the 10-15 minutes duration that I'm enjoying this meal, this
Yeah.
lovingly prepared by a chef using the ingredients that's specially chosen, I try to enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a beautiful exercise.
Yeah.
I know of someone who her thing is go sit at a cafe and just sit and sip her coffee
Yeah.
and then
And
go
just
back
be
to work.
present. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you're an entrepreneur, just that quiet moment of getting
Mhm.
away helps calm the mind and actually gets the juices flowing because you feel better afterwards. I know
Yes.
I've played around with different things, with walks, with coffee, yeah, Bible reflections. I play around with it, but this intentional getaway
Yeah.
from
Oh,
the
another
busyness.
thing that might be fun too, but it's technically a chore, but I enjoy grocery shopping. And I want to share this because I feel like there are other people who might be doing this too.
Mhm.
When I go grocery shopping, whenever I go to the checkout point where you put in
Mhm.
your groceries and then the
Yeah.
cashier checks them out, like every time I put an item there, like for example, laundry soap. So and I put that there. Oh, thank you God, we have something to wash our clothes with. And then if I pick out the meat for dinner or whatever, I say a little prayer. Thank you for giving us this blessing. So that I sort of say a prayer after every item passes through. It's comforting to know,
Yeah.
and it's a conscious exercise knowing what it's like, an inventory of
A,
your
a
blessings.
gratitude
Yeah.
exercise
I
because you're
actually learned
expressing
this
great.
from TikTok.
Really?
I've only started doing it
Mhm.
in like the past year, and I saw this on TikTok. Someone else
Yeah.
was doing it. I said, I think I'm gonna give that a try.
Yeah.
And in the past, whenever I went grocery shopping, I always feel bad because I want to buy more, but I don't have like enough of the funds. Like, oh, this isn't within budget. I better not buy that, or I'll
Yeah.
only use this. But after I started doing the advice I got from TikTok, I wish I was able to save the video. But anyway, that's the gist of it. When you
Okay.
go grocery shopping, every time you pay for something, then you say, oh, thank you. Then because we're gonna do this, I felt calmer and I didn't feel as bad handing my debit card to pay for it, because I
Yeah.
knew that the people who will be using those items are going to be blessed.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe give it a try. So exercising mindful gratitude, the way you put
Yeah.
it calms you down, whether you're a business owner or you're a career person, or even if you're a student trying to budget their way through college. It
Mhm.
has so many applications. I'm really glad that I saw that TikTok video. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I usually, towards the end of the podcast, I like to ask, what advice do you have? Is that your advice for our abiding CEOs to practice
Yeah.
mindful gratitude?
Yes, I would like to use that, and let's apply it in a different sense, like in a business sense. Because when you do grocery shopping, you use it for your personal needs or your family. So maybe we can apply mindful gratitude also in our business. Like for example, when you're paying for the apps and tools that you're using. For example, you're
Okay.
paying for the email hosting or your domain for your website, for if you're paying for your team,
Yeah.
when you
Payroll.
outsource.
We
Yeah,
love
when you're doing
clicking submit.
payroll.
Yeah.
Yes, and also paying for the internet so that you can
Yes.
have internet connection and do your business.
Yes.
If you're paying for Zoom. So for everything that you're paying for as overhead in your business,
Yes.
just every time you click the pay button, you can say, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you, God, for making this tool available, because
Mhm.
by doing so, I can email my clients and then I can bring my message to them. They'll be able to benefit from my service. And then when you send payouts to your team, just like what I do, I
Yeah.
do this too. When I send the payouts to the team, thank you. I hope this is going to nourish their family, send their kids to school, buy clothes for their family, so on. This is going to bless so many people more
Yeah.
than me. So being aware of every penny that comes out of your business,
Yes.
because you're sending that out to the world, it's going to come back like 1,000-fold. And that happens again and again, month after month. Each time you survive as a business,
Yeah.
that your business is being blessed because you are also sharing blessings to others.
Right.
So
Grateful that,
thank you, TikTok video, for
yeah.
helping me like redesign that part
Mm.
into a business like structure.
You know, I'm gonna practice that with payroll and share it with my husband because most of the time he does the payroll. And when you're a service-based business, the majority, at least, no, I've been told that that's pretty typical across the board with service-based businesses because we're
Mhm.
not selling a product. It
Yeah.
is a service. So therefore,
Mhm.
the employees are your biggest expense. And sometimes
Yes.
you're like, really? But it's the right thing to do.
Mhm.
And just bless them and gratitude that you can run payroll, right? Um,
Yes.
so
Being thankful that you can actually afford
yeah,
to send out these funds that will also feed their families, and so that they can pay the rent and make their mortgage payments.
yeah,
Because yeah, you're not just helping out that one person, it's exponential.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you were speaking, I saw like domino rally, right? You click the first
Oh,
domino,
yeah,
which
yeah.
for me would be clicking submit on Gusto, boop, and then it
And
goes
then the
down.
domino holds down. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Um,
would be a really cool visualization.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Lisa, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad that you guys are helping me. And how can people who are interested reach out to you?
All right. So thank you for like letting me be part of this episode, Betsy. So for anyone who might need virtual assistance, they can reach out to us 8point8.net, or they can use the link that you will be adding to the video description, so
Yes.
that we'll know that you found our team through Betsy. And then you can just look for 8point8 on social media. We're pretty much everywhere.
Mhm.
And I'm not guilty saying this. I did not even have a hand in doing our social media. The team takes care of it. They just make me record the videos, and they just like spread the word out there so that we stay ahead on social media. That's what happens when you have a team. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa, for coming
You're
on. And I've learned
welcome.
so much about you, and I hope that it blesses our listeners.
Yes, my
All right.
pleasure.